So I will take your questions more on specifics which may come to your mind. Yes. Anybody?
Sir,
Yes, go ahead.
sir, I find this all fascinating, but one my concern is that whenever we are talking about the urban development, we are missing on the one part. Since my childhood, I have been playing on the grounds and spent most of my time there. So I enjoyed that. But what I have seen is that now the urban development is mostly centric about the development of the houses, big buildings, corporations, and all this. But we are missing that the playgrounds, which are very important for the young generation. So, is there any plan for inclusion of that also into this urban development? And if not, then what are the challenges and what is your opinion?
Very good. Let me take few more questions. I'll answer them together. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. So, when we talk about the Viksit Bharat concept, or as a matter of fact, any sort of development country, we generally look from the policy point of view. I totally agree that policy is an important factor, but apart from policy, there is one more important piece, that is the public. So, we see that new Vande Bharats being shown the green signals every month. Engineering models are being created and capex is being increasing. So, all those things are being happening in the country. But on the next day, when we wake up and read the news in the newspaper, what we see is that the earphones are being stolen from the Vande Bharat Express. People are littering everywhere, or they are carving their names on the public infrastructure project, or creating a beautiful design or splitting on the metro doors, etc. So we lack a sense of belongingness or some sort of ethical responsibility, moral responsibility, and towards this public infrastructure project. As rightly said by John F. Kennedy, ask not what country can do for you, but ask what we can do for the country. So how can we transition this mindset so that there will be some sense of belongingness or ethical moral responsibility toward the public property, and so it will lead to the bridging policy, one P to another P, that is public, towards the parivartan, that is the third P.
Very good. What's your name?
Ajay More, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes, please.
so while talking
You can
about,
use the mic so that you give your name.
Sir Imjan.
Huh.
So when we talk about modern housing systems or the urban cities, so for cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, like Bangalore has recently been designated as one of the slowest cities in the world, so being second. So traffic becomes a really big problem for cities like this, and given the population here is like spends a lot of time staying in the traffic. So integrated traffic management systems, we discuss about topics like this, but the implementation still remains either slow or is not very much visible at the moment. So I would like request you maybe to discuss a little about it, given that a lot of time gets wasted in the traffic for maybe the students or the people going out for work.
Very good. Thank you. Yes.
So there, we talked about the tenancy law, and it discusses the rent that is to be charged. But in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, landlord charges high amount of money for small spaces, and people who can afford they pay, and that money is not reasonable for the space that they get. And those who are not able to pay, they are forced to live in uninhabitable situation, and they face a lot of challenges like the chores in Mumbai, and in Delhi also there are places which are very inhabitable, like in places like Rajendra Nagar, which is a hub for all the IIS and UPSC aspirants, and people know what the situation there is, and their policy makers come from that place only, but still there is no stern step taken to regulate those the rent at such places. What is the government doing to ensure that the students living there, the people coming to urban places, are actually charged the rent that they are supposed to pay for the spaces that they are getting?
What's your name?
Didi.
Nidhi.
Didi.
Yes.
So this is again regarding the traffic in home. So in the peak hours, the metro the locals can handle only 25 lakh, but then 75 lakh people use it. And also the buses, so to handle the Mumbai traffic, we need at least 10,000 buses. We still have only 3,000. So with the growing population and rapid urbanization, what are all the supporting activities that we need to take care of, and how are we handling that?
What's your name?
Satya, sir.
Yes.
So with regards to being an
Ignorant.
Hello, sir. I wanted to ask that, as you mentioned that urbanization is a natural process, I wanted to know why can't we create opportunities in rural areas itself, as in the sense that not about the industry, we can make cooperative limited like Amul and all in textile sectors where rural India can grow as well from that point of view.
What's your name?
Shriyari.
Yes, ma'am.
I think so it's slightly related to that. Being an aggregate economy and I'm sure given our population, the kind of urbanization which is happening and what we are looking at being Viksit Bharat in 2047, also in order to boost our economy. The agriculture will continue to remain a very important key factor of our whole economy and as a societal build-up. So how urbanization exactly is going to help or support or impact the livelihood?
Yes. Anybody else? No? So I'll.
One question, not in the urbanization.
Okay.
I think you have both Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Can you say that how they have taken a problem in their, whenever you discuss some certain problem, so what is their way of taking it? You can compare it.
And compare the Prime Minister versus the CM.
Way of taking a problem. When it's very
Maybe the
complicated.
perspective, the thought process, the way you are, how to approach a problem or a challenge, or how do they look at it?
Okay.
So as an extension to that, so if you're looking at, you started with the issue, the differentiated or different definitions, the global scale as well as our national scale, which is basically creating unnecessary reduction in terms of the urbanization, which is actually happening in the current state. Or similarly, somebody has talked about why don't we create this, you have already talked around 5,000 cities are there. What exactly the scale of urbanization which you are basically talking about? Are we going to have more cities or we are going to have, the existing cities will be expanded? Like in the case of Mumbai, we started with the main Mumbai, then we've gone for Navi Mumbai. Now we are further extending it to another city now. So how we are going to have, what exactly the plan and how we are going to integrate it with the global definition space as well.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'll pick up one by one. Let me start with first the gentleman coming from the both Madam Nisaji and Srihari on the rural area and the urban area. See, when we got independent in 1947, now what was the rural population? Almost 80%. Less than 20% people were living in the urban areas. In 2011 census, our rural population was close to 70%, less than 70%, and the urban population was 31.2%. By 2040, our urban population is going to be more than 40% and the rural population will be less than 60%. By 2050, it is going to be more than 50% in the urban area and rural area is going to be less than 50%. Does that mean that our total agricultural production has come down? No. Does that mean that our horticulture or other things which were coming from the fisheries or anything, that has come down? No. What has it? Only it has changed that the total dependency on the rural area has reduced. People has migrated from the rural to the urban area because there it was not unemployment, it was underemployment. On a piece of land or a piece of a small pond or whatever, maybe livelihood opportunities, where only one person can do that work, some 5 people were working there. It was underemployment. And because of that, even the quality of life was not good, because in the pure economic terms, if your productivity is poor, then obviously you are going to get much less. So your life support system is going to be much less. So that is why people started moving from the rural to the urban areas. And how do they move? They first moved to such places. Earlier, all the movement from the rural to urban migration was to Bombay. Anybody coming out of the rural area will go to Bombay to work in the film or work in some close to the film somewhere there, or move to Delhi, move to Chennai. So these cities became metropolitan. Because if you go to city of Delhi, you will find people from Chennai, from Kerala, from Karnataka, from Assam, from Tripura, everywhere, all across the country. Similarly, in Mumbai, it is metropolitan. It has some character of its own Maharashtrian character, but it has got people from all across because the people are finding opportunities and they were increasing their income. They were sustaining their families. And it is going to be there. Then came the second rank cities, B class cities. Then came the C class cities. And as I showed you this graph, population of more than 5 lakhs plus, that is 500,000 plus population cities, that is going to grow much more faster. The cities which has already overgrown, like Mumbai, they are not going to grow so much. There are 3 ways in which the cities grow, sustain the population. 3 ways in which the cities sustain the population. Because city has also got a capacity. Like you have got a capacity, if you ask me to pick up say 200 kgs, I cannot. Ask me to pick up 100 kg, maybe. 75 kg, yes, definitely. See, I have got my capacity. So cities have got, it's like an organic body. It has got its own capacity. 3 ways in which cities can sustain more people. 1, the green development. That is completely new development. The city expands. And you find the cities expand in some manner. I mean, either it moves along the road line, along the say there is a river, or along there is a water pond or water lake or something like that. So cities expand. It's called a green development. Then there is a redevelopment. Because everything has got its life. Madam was telling me that this management institute has got most of the building more than 50 years old. So they are going for a big redevelopment. In the same space, you can get more area. Like this Central Vista project. So in the same space, we can get much more build-up area. Much more build-up area because we planned. Now with the technology available, we can go vertical and create more spaces and leave more open spaces. So this is called redevelopment. You demolish and come out with a new structure. And the third way in which the cities can sustain is by retrofitting. That is already it is there. There's some places here and there by making some changes, by improving the road, by improving the drainage system, by improving the electricity system, by making the energy movement system, better hospitals, better facilities. It's a redevelopment. No, not redevelopment. It's a retrofitting. It's a renewal. You renew the thing. The same house, you can renew, change the plaster, change the color, change this. You find this, it looks much better. Am I there? So these 3 ways they can sustain. But there is also a 4th way, the new cities can come up. Something which was not a city. As you are seeing the definitions, the city, the rural area whose population is more than 10,000. Slowly it will be designated as a future, planned area. Then it becomes a township. Then it becomes a nagarpalika. So slowly this population, when I say 50% population growth, it is going to be some redevelopment, some green development, and mostly retrofitting. So it's going to sustain more people. This one cannot stop, because this is a world global phenomenon where it was somehow, I think, through some artificial means, that during the period of the subjugation, the colonial period where we were subjugated, we stopped getting our cities grow. More and more rural area. This was better for those who were the rulers. But now the country is going to become Viksit Bharat. Rural area, yes, earlier you must have heard about the Hindu rate of growth, 2%, 3%. Now even the agriculture growth is 4%, 5%. Because now we have transformed agriculture using technology. Less water, more growth. Less fertilizer, more growth. I mean, it's a better using the technology. Now the whole, the fisheries, biggeries, various things, goatries, all these things have changed, transformed. So even in the rural area, now the growth is faster, but it cannot become 2-digit plus growth. If you have to become, say, $40 trillion economy, we have to go into that kind of mode where our growth is two digits. Right now growth is around 7 to 8%. We have to get about 10%. That is possible through when the factors of economic activities, they can be congregated together, and that is possible in the urban areas. So urbanization is must. There is absolutely no choice but to go for urbanization. Whether you want it or you don't want it, it is going to happen. And when it happens, it's like when you create a big slums like this, you create big challenges. Unplanned development is a very, very dangerous for it brings the efficiency of the people, brings down the efficiency of the people. We need to plan our cities in a manner so that it is a bit better livable place. It can sustain life much easier way of ease of living, ease of doing business. People don't find challenges. If suppose the people have to go to the factory, they don't feel challenges. They go and perform their job in the best possible manner. Have to get their child educated. They have to get the best possible manner. So you have to make the city much more better place to live. At the same time, the activities in the rural area has to grow, because no industry can sustain without agriculture. You have the productivity, not the production, but the productivity needs to be increased. The productivity in the rural areas, you take any crop, find the productivity has gone up, but there's still a long way to go. And that is the path which India is taking. See, the Prime Minister, the present, our budget 2025, how many of you have heard about there is a scheme for the farmers? Can you just name the scheme? PM? Not credit. Have you heard about the aspirational districts program?
Yes.
Aspirational districts? 112 districts across the country were selected which had the lowest developmental index. Whether it was health, infrastructure, or education, or employment, all these things, they were the lowest structure. They were selected as aspirational districts. And today they are matching with the most other districts. Like in UP, we had 8 districts. Now they are all grown up. They are all, matching with the rest of the districts. Aspirational blocks, aspirational nagar. Now aspirational agricultural districts. 100 such districts are going to be taken up where the productivity is low, where the credit is low, where your various factors of agriculture production is much low, and they are going to be handheld through the various schemes of the government of India so that they come at par with the rest of the districts. We have around 750 to 800 districts. Out of that, these 100 districts are going to be taken, and their conditions are going to be improved. And once those are improving, you see, our experience with the aspirational district program is, if these districts are improving, the neighboring districts are also going to improve, because they see challenged. They feel that challenge. One new paradigm shift in the whole administration governance system, which we experience after the Prime Minister Modi has taken over in 2014, is challenge, the city challenge. Challenge in various things. When you challenge people, they perform their best. When there is a competition, they perform their best. So this is the kind of change which is not that rural area is going to be. There is a scheme called in the rural area with the urban facilities. In the rural area, we have got Viksit Bharat, the toilets are there. We had ODF plus, but now there is even the garbage-free rural areas. Even the sanitation, the treatment of the sewer system. All these things are happening in the rural area. So improving the quality of life of the people, but at the same time, let people migrate from the rural to urban area so that their contribution to the production, whatever production they through skilling, whatever they are contributing, that is much more economically viable than their being in the rural area. Okay, so this is one area. I am not saying the rural area. There is so much of focus of the government on farmers, on fisheries, on those who are poultry, various things. There is so much of focus of the government, but urban area will get you more than 2-digit growth, economic growth per year, per annum. So this is why it is essential. I think I am able to answer both Nisha ji as well as Srihari. About this transport, very interesting question, because yes, the first thing, two things which you feel the most biggest challenge in the urban area. In fact, when the smart city where we are doing, that was the first program in which there was such a large level of citizen engagement. People were asked, what do you want your city to be after 5 years, 10 years? And how do you want to do it? How do you want to contribute to that? What are the challenges in urban life? Which area would like to select first? Various questions were being asked through maybe emails, through public conversations like this, through SMSs, various modes, using a different mode of communication. And see, the biggest challenge which came was the housing and the transport. Because once you get into the city like Bombay or Bangalore, was saying the slowest city, or any other city, for that matter even in Lucknow or Delhi, you will find days which are so challenging. Why? There is so much of population on the roads. So only answer to that is the public transport. 2, you need to manage your roads in a much better manner, because right now find the road maybe say 30 feet wide, but out of that say 10-15 is already encroached. So we need to empower our urban local bodies so that they are able to manage the roads much better. They have to make the roads smart roads. You don't need poles here and there. Most of it can go underground. If you see one of the smart roads, maybe whatever cities you are, one of the smart cities, you can go and see how things have completely changed. The whole road looks so different. If any of you are from Varanasi, the gullies were very difficult to navigate. Now, you can move even using the car. Why? Because most of it was enclosed. Now things have cleaned up. Most of the wiring system has gone inside, which were moving from outside, looking so dirty look. So how you structure it? And transport system, as I said, one is the mass rapid transport, MRT. 2 new system has come in the country. MRT started first, for the first time it started in Kolkata in early 80s. First metro line came in Kolkata in early 80s, 83 or 84. But it did not take off. It was only say 5 kilometers and it remained at 5 kilometers for another 4 decades. First time in 2002 when Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji started the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, DMRC, and its first line was started in 2002. It started in 1999 and first time it was inaugurated by, I think, 24th of December 2002 by the Honorable Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. From then on, our metro journey has really moved very fast. And after 2014, it was moving like this, it started moving like this. As I said, the metro, some 1,000 kilometer plus already operational, another 1,000 kilometer working, under construction. And how many more will come in the time to come? RRTS, for the first time, regional rapid transport. You must have heard of regional rapid transport, Namo Bharat, from Delhi to Meerut. It's 92 kilometers. Out of that, 55 kilometers is already operational. 92 kilometers just in 55 minutes, stopping at 15 stations. That is the new Bharat. And more RRTS will come for big cities. I mean, earlier I used to experience when you go to London, you go to Amsterdam, you go to New York, you go to Washington, you will find such kind of regional rapid transport was not there in India. Now, India has not only done it, but we are Atmanirbhar in it. Most of it, we have got the technology. I mean, I had the privilege, I'll say it's a great opportunity, God-given opportunity for me to do this as a regional rapid transport. For the first time in India, our ropeway system. Ropeway is a transport system. You must have seen ropeway in some hilly areas. There is more like a tourist place. But as a transport system, for the first time, foundation was laid by Honorable Prime Minister some 2-3 years back, and I am hopeful that next couple of months it is going to be inaugurated in the city of Varanasi. And now in many other cities, the city of Prayagraj, already ropeway system has been approved, and immediately after the Kumbh it is going to start. You can cross river Jamuna using the ropeway system. It's coming in many cities across the country. It was there in many other countries where there is no place to move on the ground. You can take the sky route. Now, electric buses. The Government of India, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has come up with a big electric bus program. Electric bus program already, I mean, as the Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh, we had 750 buses. We are planned to make it 2,000 electric buses. The number will grow to 2,000 to 3,000. Yes, I take your point that the number is lesser than our actual requirement. Yes, definitely. But we started with a big problem. Once we start solving the problem, you develop confidence. You have your own Atmanirbhar. You see, when we started this metro, just let me share with you. Metro in 2014, one coach was costing how much? Almost 14 crores. 14 crores for one coach. And when I left as a Chief Secretary for Uttar Pradesh in 2021 December, one coach was costing how much? Less than 8 crores. 7.8 crores. The last tender which I did, out of which 1,000 coaches, the tender came 7.81 crores. From 14 crore to 8 crore. Normally costs are going up, but this cost was going down. And one reason why cost has gone down, we are Atmanirbhar now. It is all, now we have got 4 factories for the metro construction. One is Bombardier in Gujarat, other is Alstom in Tamil Nadu, Alstom, Siri City, BML in Bangalore, and Titagarh in Kolkata. We are making our own metro, which is aluminium metro in city of Pune. Very so close, you go to Pune city and you find the aluminium body made metro. It costs less. Even the running cost is less because the weight has gone down. So we are Atmanirbhar. Most of things, almost 70-20% of the metro system is now Atmanirbhar. Earlier, even for the construction of metros, we were getting our general consultant from outside, coming from Europe, coming from Japan, coming from Korea. Now our general consultant, Indians are doing there. Even not only, let me share with you, our DMRC is doing consultancy in Turkey, in Bangladesh, in Malaysia. Our people are going and doing consultancy. Earlier, they were coming here to work in our country. See, most of it, I mean, it's not 100%, but most of it, for the first time, see, when you have used metro, this door on the metro station. Now this is all very recently, which I started as a secretary, started the first Atmanirbhar Bharat using the bell. Now it is 100% done. Our Prime Minister has launched that only 6 months back, and now we are going to manufacture our own platform stored doors. We started in the DMRC automatic train control system. And yesterday, the DMRC MD was there. He said now he's going for CBDC. We say comprehensive, the whole system is going to become Indian system now. You know what it means? The cost goes down almost by 40%, 50%. We get with the same money, we can construct much more. So there is so much of work. Yes, challenge is there. Challenge is there. Definitely, every city has that challenge of transport. But the country is moving forward with so much of solutions. So much of the Prime Minister has given so much of energy to our creative mind. You come out with the solution. Things like transport for all, which I shared in the smart city. How using an app, when is my bus coming? What time, when it will reach? Everything using the technology. See how I was as a urban secretary, 6 national missions I was running. I was also running the metro system. All these things, how it was possible? Just using technology. I could control everywhere across the country what was happening. I could see it on my screen. Using the technology, using the space technology. Playgrounds. Well, playground is very much there. See, it was not there earlier because we were not planning. Urban planning was not a very focused and a priority thing. Now, under the proper urban planning, without playground, without school, without hospital, but all these things are part of the planning. In fact, on the sports front, country has moved so much earlier. When you get the result of Olympic or Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, see, we were getting 1 medal or 0 medal or half medal or whatever. We are so happy. Now we get 10, 20 and days are not very far when you get 50 and hundreds. So even in the urban planning, all these things are very much there. When the renewal will be there, when the new development will be there, you will find all these things will be there. But old development, the planning was not a priority. The mindset, very good point was made. You can construct an infrastructure. In fact, there is a good saying, they can create a pond, but you cannot make anybody to drink from the pond. So you need to, civic sense is very much important. And it is, happening in a manner, you must have definitely, as a aware citizen, you must have seen the kind of change which is happening, mindset change. Earlier, not very far, when I was there in my previous posting in Government of India, it was a common sight when I go from my office to my house, you'll find people will just open the window and throw out something from there. But now, nobody throws out. It was a very common sight. You go to a monument and you will find everybody's love letter there on the monuments. In the toilets, in the rails, in the buses. But now it is not there. Yes, there are few, aberrations are there. Outliers are there. But at the same time, the compliance of the civic sense has really increased. It is increased because constantly, you see, from the Honorable Prime Minister, from the government, there is so much of investment on the public to be part of. In fact, when the Prime Minister says Viksit Bharat, he said Viksit Bharat not by the Prime Minister, Viksit Bharat by the people of India. It is by Team India. Team India. There is a Team India which has to do the Viksit Bharat and not one Prime Minister or one Minister or one Administrator. No. It's the people of India who have to make the Viksit Bharat. They have to take the ownership. So you find there is so much of change, but yes, it will take some time because social changes are the most difficult changes. Social changes, social transformation, because they take ages. But the kind of change which has happened in the Swachh Bharat mission, kind of change which has even in say water conservation. Now I find much more compliance on water conservation, much more discipline in even in say rail and road and all these things. Earlier there was hardly a sight when people will get into the line. Now you see that people are in line and those who are not in the line, others are objecting to it. So there is some change, and this is part of the education, part of say some kind of advocacy, part of even your the educational system has to take that role. So this is happening, but it's a real challenge. Tenancy law. You wanted to say, I think Riddhi wanted to say that, well, can you regulate the tenancy rates for tenancy? I think it's not good. When you start controlling the rates, it becomes like same old system of Inspector Raj. See, I mean, prior to 1990, you don't know how life was so difficult. Even for getting, as an IS officer, I had to get a recommendation of somebody to get gas in my house, gas cylinder in my house. I had to get a recommendation from somebody. See, it was so difficult. Now, common person, they do not have, you say open economy, everybody, it is access to everybody. We don't have that shortage. One method is the control, other method is making things available. And what I said about affordable rental housing complexes, more than 1 lakh have already been constructed. Once you have that affordable rental housing complexes more and more constructed, this is one of the verticals out of 1 crore houses which is part of PMAY 2.0. I am sure some 25 lakhs are going to be affordable rental housing. This I have seen in France, this I have seen in Germany, this I have seen in Netherlands, in England, but India it was not there. Nobody had thought of it. It was for the first time that the Prime Minister thought after post-COVID that we must have a scheme like this. And now it has been made vertical of PMAY 2.0. 20 to 25 lakhs affordable rental housing. Once it is there, it will be so easy because once these houses come with a proper enterprise, once availability becomes enough, then obviously the rates are going to become reasonable. It is affordable rental housing. Also, this rental law, model tenancy law, which has become a law in most of the states, is being implemented. Once that is there, people have the confidence. As I said, 1.1 crore houses were lying vacant. I am quoting the census figure 2011. And when we estimated how many houses are required, around 1 crore houses are required. Houses are vacant and houses are required. You have water, but you cannot drink it, like you are in the sea. Why? People were not confident. If I give my house to somebody on rental, I may not get it back. And urban phenomenon, urban living is such that people do not live at one place, especially the poor people. Those who are in the lesser income brackets. They're mostly migrating from, even in Delhi, they will go from one area to another area. So the requirement of rental housing is much more than the ownership housing. So I think this PMAY 2.0 is going to be transformative. I think I have been able to. Anybody is left? Oh, your issue. I think that is we can discuss separately. In fact, I avoided that. But I can give you one example. Let me give you one example. The approach. Our Honorable Prime Minister, he just opens everybody. See, my first experience when I became secretary in June 2017, when I became secretary to Government of India, earlier that I was additional secretary in the urban development. There were two ministries, Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. There used to be two secretaries, two ministers. But when I became secretary, he merged. It became one ministry, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This housing program was part of the Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. So for me, it was absolutely new program as a secretary because I had not dealt with it as a additional secretary. You have heard about Pragati? Have you heard about Pragati? Proactive is a governance system in which so far I think 140 plus Pragati meetings have held. Prime Minister holds this meeting with all the chief secretaries, all the secretary to Government of India, and some of the mission ambassadors or high commissioners whose cases are being taken up in that one. We are all there available on digitally. And some scheme is, already it's a pre-announced. 2 weeks before it is announced that such and such a scheme will be taken up. And he will review on that scheme. What has happened, why it is not. You first come out with the answer, then Prime Minister will give you some suggestion. He also takes up one program of the government. He also takes up public grievances. Public grievances, the CP gram, the public grievances have gone 20 times. Why? Now people are happier. If they give any problem to this government system, they get the reply, they get satisfaction. Their problems are solved. Earlier, when you send it to the government, then nobody is bothered. Because this is being reviewed by the Prime Minister himself. Pragati, so far more than projects worth 20 lakh crore. 20 lakh crore. In terms of, if you take it in dollar terms, so it will be something like, you can say, $250 billion. That much project which were incomplete. Some project which was, foundation was laid by Prime Minister Nehru, laid by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, or laid by Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. They have been completed now. So this Pragati. So this Pragati, the first Pragati which I faced, earlier I was there as a additional secretary. I didn't have to answer, my secretary will answer. But the first Pragati, my Prime Minister Housing Scheme, this PMAY, this was taken up. I am giving this example. So Prime Minister asked me, because the progress was much less, till then it was only 1.5 years was there, the progress is not good. But he asked me a very different question. He asked me, can you utilize this opportunity, because you have to construct 1 crore houses. Can you utilize this opportunity to get the best technologies in the world in India? Best construction technology in the world in India? Such a simple question. And as my innocence, I can say I was handling the Prime Minister for the first time face to face on the screen. So I said, sir, I'll organize one big conference, come exhibition, where I will ask all those people who are the technology people from the world to come and exhibit their technology for 3 days conference. There'll be a lot of discussion and people will learn from there. He could have said all right, but he said no. He said, इस पे और सोचिए, आप क्या कर सकते हैं जिसे चुनौती दे करके, लोगों को चैलेंज करके आप हमारे देश में उन टेक्नोलॉजी को पूरी तरह से अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं. This direction from the Prime Minister was such an important direction for me. It took me whole 1 year. 2017 में हमको उन्होंने कहा, एंड 17 जुलाई में कहा उन्होंने, जुलाई की प्रगति में, एंड मैं 2019 के मार्च में ग्लोबल हाउसिंग टेक्नोलॉजी चैलेंज को लॉन्च करा पाया. It required so much of consultation from experts, from institutions like you, IITs and such institutions, management institutions. I called people from abroad, people from embassies, discussing what is that which can come. And 3 things came. We had a global housing technology challenge through which we invited those who have technologies which is not there in India. You have to partner with somebody in India and construct something you have to demonstrate over a period of time. We had to get the states to participate in the challenge, and we have to select certain cities, and cities where houses being constructed for those who are poor people, Prime Minister Awas Yojana. But this was not enough. We had to start a new vertical of identifying new technologies itself, ourselves, because we don't have the dearth of knowledge, and our engineering institutions are there. They can, once given opportunity, they can start doing it. So that means incubating new technologies, new building materials, new construction, method of construction, etc. So they bring down the cost, use the local material. And also, this was called Affordable Housing ASHA, Affordable Sustainable Housing Initiative. And then the third thing was training. So this whole thing has structured, and now you find in city of Chennai, city of Indore, Rajkot, Lucknow, Ranchi and Agartala. These things have come. In Ranchi, a technology is such that you construct the whole house here. Just pick it up, put it there. Pick it up, put it up. It's like the children play the Lego. In the Chennai, the technology is you construct your stairs somewhere, walls somewhere, somewhere, and you just construct them together. And Lucknow, it's all different technologies. Some come from somewhere. And it was possible because the Prime Minister asked me that question. We worked on it. Now we have got more than 50 new technologies developed by your own people. They're all been, SWAR has been developed by CPWD. So one question from the Prime Minister, it opens up you like, he opens you up. This is his approach. And I think I have given an answer. Only part of the rest we can discuss separately. Yeah, sure. I think 1:30 gone much beyond. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I think you can delay that session because somebody should have pointed. I thought it was only 1:30. Okay. So thanks a lot. I don't know how much of it you have absorbed. But I'll definitely invite you to, I'll request Nisaji to share my presentation with you. You can see it at leisure and you can learn a lot from there. Thank you.
Thank you.